Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Dunbar Snackbar here with some MLB 2K12 and my player mode with Chris Rose. And I tell you what guys, I am in a great mood. I am super excited. I'm just really happy because today the Oakland Athletics won the American League West Division. And this just took me by surprise. Everything that has happened this season with the Oakland Athletics post All-Star game has been the complete opposite of everything that I was expecting, and this is one of those reasons why I love baseball and sports as a whole. Because a lot of people just think, wow, that's cool, the A's won, their division and everything like that. That was unexpected, but it goes deeper than that. If you go back and you take a look at how many games before today that the A's were in the first place spot in the American League West, 0. So, of all the games to pick to end up in the lead of the American League West, it was the final game. And that, I think, is what is really awesome about this. Everything about this season, once everything got going, it was all about, hey, guys, we're probably not going to be that good. Wait for the next few years, and we'll get better. Because the A's went ahead. They traded Gio Gonzalez. They traded Bailey away. They traded Cahill and Kurt Suzuki, a lot of their, big players over the years for all these rookies and, picking up some people who had been released and stuff like that. And once again, it was just kind of like a, hey, let's just get whoever we can to, be able to fill the spot. At least that's what it seemed for me as a fan. And look at where they end up. This is awesome. Like, I was getting excited when I heard that they were in the hunt for the wild card. And, even a week ago, I did not think that the A's would be where they are right now, and I'm sure you guys can tell I'm on cloud 9 right now. As an A's fan, and a lot of you who are fans of smaller teams as well, just in any sport, kind of understand this. When something, like this comes around, like a huge victory where your team surprises you, this is among one of the greatest feelings that you can have. Like, this type of surprise is great because we don't get to experience it that often, and I think, if you, let's kind of take things from a different perspective. Let's say the A's were a team that was ridiculously good, all right? And everybody knew that they were ridiculously good and was expected to make it to the playoffs. And they did, then you're like, great, well, they met my expectations. Now let's see what happens. Or, if they're a team that gets there a lot, I think really the excitement of it, you kind of get desensitized from it. I mean, not like, oh, great, we won, no big deal. But, for somebody like me who rarely gets to experience something like this and can cheer my team on, in the postseason, this feels great. And it really makes me, appreciate the feelings that I have right now. I'm not going to forget this day. I'm not going to forget the season here for my entire life. I mean, that's just how cool this feels right now. And, it was really awesome that a lot of people, once they heard that the A's ended up winning the division, they're like, oh, I thought about you, Dunbar. Or they sent me a message on Twitter or on Facebook, something like that. And that really cheered me up because there's people who are like, hey, my team didn't make it into the playoffs, but I'm going for the A's now because this is really cool that they're there. And that's awesome for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think these people are hopping on any type of bandwagon or anything like that. But I think it's cool that, people are out there appreciating exactly what has taken place, what the A's were able to accomplish this year, and really want to support them because sometimes I, as an Oakland A's fan, sometimes feel alone being, tucked away in the middle of Nebraska, far away from absolutely everything. And, I don't know anybody else really who's as big of an Oakland A's fan as I am. And so, I'll admit, I feel alone out here. There's nobody who I could talk to about how we're doing and stuff like that. And then now I've got a whole bunch of people who are going to be following them, who I can talk with and get excited with stuff over. So this is great. I mean, this season, just as a whole, has been awesome. And I know for a lot of teams that are out there, today was the last day of the season. And just a few teams go ahead and progress on. But, man, this has been great. We've got Miguel Cabrera and the Triple Crown, all the stuff that's been going on with that. You've got, perfect games. You've got no-hitters. This season has been phenomenal. I think for me, this is a great way to cap it off. Even if the Oakland A's get eliminated in the first round, I'm still going to be excited about how the season went. There is absolutely no way that I could be disappointed, because the fact that we are where we are, competing in the postseason of one of the greatest games against some really, really tough teams, that's something in and of itself to be excited about. And I'm not going to take this for granted. If we get swept, like I said, I'm going to just be glad that we made it this far and consider this a huge, huge win. And it gets me excited about what's going to happen next year. And I'm already, kind of curious how people are going to view the A's next year. Because I was reading some articles and stuff like that, and there was one person who was ultra critical of people at the beginning of the year. He was like, the so-called experts, and he put experts in like quotation marks, had written off the A's as being a terrible team that was going to end up in last place in the division and stuff like that. And he was kind of going on, it's like, goes to show you can't trust these people. I'm like, are you kidding me? These people have far more knowledge about baseball than I could ever hope to have. And I was thinking the same thing that they were. Anybody who would have said that the Oakland A's would have won the division against the Texas Rangers, who is one of the best teams that you're going to find in all of baseball, the Angels, who have some of the best players in all of baseball right now as well, and a good Mariners team, I would have laughed. And everybody else would have laughed at him too, because there's nothing to be able to support that at all. So, you know what? That's what I think makes this better. Like, the people who know baseball counted them out, and here they are. The beauty, I think, of sports is, when stuff like this happens, where there's something happens that nobody ever would have anticipated. And I guess that makes that more exciting for me, just kind of knowing nobody expected this to happen. And those that did got written off as, being foolish, like, you really don't know your baseball, or come on, you're just saying that because you're an A's fan or something. But here we are. This is awesome. I'm excited to see how this plays out. The thing is the American League is a phenomenal league, and all of the teams that have made it to the playoffs and the wild card definitely deserve to be there. Still, you look at the teams on paper, and even though, the A's are in it, they definitely are at a disadvantage compared to some of the other teams, just when you take a look at it on paper. But what the A's can do, as we have been able to prove in the second half of the season, kind of goes to show we really do have a chance. Now, I don't want to get my hopes up or anything like that. I'm not saying World Series bound or anything like that, but if we play like we have been against some of the, top teams in the American League, it's a possibility. You got to take it a game at a time, and I wish I could be watching all of these games. In fact, I better get my DVR going right now that I think about it, get those games saved. On when that's going to be. I got to find the schedule so I can watch them, but man, this is the first time I think this actually might be the first time that I've really been able to watch the A's in the postseason. And some people are saying this is like Moneyball 2, stuff like that. I don't necessarily agree with that, because, Moneyball was about Billy Beane revolutionizing the game, and the whole point of the movie was to kind of show how baseball had changed since then. Not necessarily, here's a story of an underdog team who ends up, going through and making it to the playoffs. That's kind of what's happening here. Not too much has changed, but in some respects, I can understand where they're coming from too, because this is a miraculous thing. Game 162 in Major League Baseball can bring out some tremendous miracles, and we've seen that, especially over the last 2 seasons. But I know I've been asked that. Like, Dunbar, do you think they're going to make a Moneyball 2 off of this? No, I don't. It's just an example of a team who defied all odds, but not like Moneyball, because Moneyball was revolutionizing the game. But anyway, I'm excited for this postseason. No matter how it plays out, we've got some great teams that are going to be competing, and I'm going to be watching it here as often as I can. Man, I'm just on cloud 9 right now, you guys, so I appreciate you kind of bearing with me as I get to post my celebration video about everything that's going on, and that's going to be the last out of the game for Chris Rose here in MLB 2K12. So, you guys, thank you for watching this. I definitely do appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You guys can follow me on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. Just check out the description below, and it will all be there. Comment, like, share, whatever you want to do with this video, I would appreciate it. But again, you guys, thank you so much. Go A's, and I hope you guys have a good one.